Okay, let's go over all of the Year 6 Season 3 changes that are coming. Now, for whatever reason, I think they're like sort of split up the way that they put out the information. So we're going to go over the designer notes first, and then we're going to go over a CGG article that includes some of the changes, and then there's the thing, however you call it, the thing that where the devs address community concerns, and some of them are coming in this season, and then some are coming in future seasons, but we'll cover that when we get to it. All right, so designer notes first. Preseason designer notes. Let's start with the balancing matrix. As you can see, there's just a giant glut of operators that are just not very played, with varying win rates. Blitz is just like not very picked and terrible, and Yana's picked a lot and wins, I guess, the most of all attackers. Sledge picked the most and has a negative win rate. Yeah, so you can see like these are just the best quote unquote operators in the game. Jackal, of course, is presence, so a lot of this is going to be ban rate. Same thing for Thatcher. So I guess probably these have to be the 5 most played operators: Ashe, Twitch, Ace, Yana, Sledge, and they're all just either universally good operators or they just have really good guns. Like in the case of Twitch, Ace is still pretty good with the hard breach, but without any throwable secondary gadgets, he's a little bit worse, but he has a very good gun. Sledge, good gun. He has the SMG-11, which is getting taken away in this patch, but he had it before. And then the utility. Yana, 2 pretty good guns, good utility. Frag's gone 6. Ashe is still just Ashe. Like, she's fast. She has a good gadget. She's pretty good guns. Well, you know, not as good as they used to be, but still. G36, not bad. And then R4C, I guess if you can control the recoil, it's still really strong. Jackal, banned a lot. Whatever. All these operators. Yana getting nerfed. Sledge getting nerfed. Twitch getting buffed. And then there's sort of these operators. Yeah, Zofia went way down. That's those. Win deltas, like Jaeger's still here. I guess he's not like off the charts like he used to be, but he's, I mean, terrible now. I guess he's 1, 2, 3, 4. What, the 5th worst in terms of win delta and this is of course in platinum and above on PC. So yeah, people still play Jaeger a lot because you still kind of need it. Rook's still winning a lot. Whatever. We'll get to it. So I just saw something earlier where Mute. So there's the new health system in play where you either have 100, 110, or 125 HP to start, and Mute had 100, implying that he might be a 3-speed now. I guess we'll see if we get confirmation on that or not. I was about to test some stuff on the test server right now, but it's down for maintenance, so I will test it later, I guess. You know, it's interesting, I guess. I always like looking at these and then seeing the devs' thought process. So yeah, Thatcher and Jackal, and then I guess Montaigne, but you know, most of the bans coming in here, it should, for attackers, since you have 2 bans, this should all add up to 200%, and you get 146% of it with 2, so almost 3/4 of the bans are just these 2. And then if you add this in, it's, you know, just an overwhelming majority, and then no ban also added, so you know, it's 28, 91, like almost 7/8 are just no ban Montaigne, Jackal, Thatcher. For defenders, it's a little bit more spread out because Mmr's not nearly as high as Thatcher, and Valkyrie's not nearly as high as Jackal. But still, it's just really focused. Mmr and Valkyrie are the big 2, and then Kaid when it's relevant, and then people still just hate playing against Clash, so they ban it, and then so on. Whatever. I guess this is interesting. I wish they would have given the specifics for all the guns, but I suppose you can check in game, although not terribly easily because, you know, there's no gun range or anything. But they have what would be the word, not like unified, but they've made the ammo counts more consistent. They're all within these ranges, which is cool. Like some guns just had a ton of ammo for no reason, and most of them, I don't think there were too many exceptions. Some class, like if you're on defense, Jaeger's gun just had so many bullets, whereas so I think like the MP5 had like 120 bullets total, but Jaeger's gun had 240 bullets or something crazy total, with higher caliber, so it's easier to just make holes. So you could just pre-fire forever, make every hole you ever wanted, whatever. So, and now it's been changed. I don't know which category. I guess it's still gonna be assault rifle category. I don't know if it, you know, carbine or whatever. If Jaeger's gun's different, but yeah. So here you have the numbers. Nothing revolutionary, nothing crazy. It's just it's a fine change, I suppose. Damage drop off and silencers. This is also good. I guess it takes away the uniqueness of some of the guns, but it's not uniqueness that was beneficial to anyone in any way. It's easier to track everything now. it's good to have this sort of unification within classes, I think. A good change, I think. Flash detection, people are really antsy about this one. So basically, if you get hit by a flashbang at all, you will go full white. You won't be able to see it all, but it is now a duration thing. Before, if you went full white, it was a set amount of time, or you would just get other effects. But now you go full white, and this also applies to, this is flashbangs, Yin Candelas, Blitz, Shield. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So yeah, you go full white. So flash should be pretty strong. So even if you aren't looking at the flash at all, you can still get flash, which I mean, I think makes sense balance-wise. It might be kind of annoying. Flashes were inconsistent before. I imagine they're still going to be kind of inconsistent. Maybe this improves their consistency. Yeah, so buff to flashes. Flashes weren't used all that much except for to clear, Wamai magnets, Jaeger ADSs, and Aruni gates. That's their primary. It still is going to be their primary use, but I guess they're a little bit more effective in doing what they're intended to do. HP replacing armor. This is cool. Like before so the numbers for this were very close effectively with the resistance. So if you were a 1 armor before, you had 0 resist, so you had 100 HP, no resistance to damage. If you were a 2 armor, you had 100 HP and you had a 10% resistance to damage. And I think the way the math plays out, 10% reduction. So what you do is you just take 10 divided by 9 and then multiply that number by 100. So you had like 111 effective HP. So I'm pretty sure that's the way it was calculated before. So it, ever so slight nerf to 2 armors, I guess, losing like 1 effective HP. And then, and I'm not actually sure how it's calculated with the rounding and stuff. 3 armors, 125 HP, and I think that's the same as it was before. So they had a 20% damage resistance. So that's 4/5 damage, and then to get the effective HP, you flip it over. So you take 5 over 4, you get 1.25. You multiply that by 100. Same effective HP, so no real change there. And again, I'm not sure how they did rounding and stuff in the game, so maybe this is a buff or nerf. And then Rook Armor, 20% extra HP. So it's technically a nerf to picking up Rook Armor if you're not a one armor. So it's giving you, or no, even if you're a 1 armor, because I guess this is giving you, right? Is that how so you have 120 HP now, and before you would have, yeah, since it was a 20% resistance, you would have had 125 effective HP if you were a 1 armor pickup. So it's a slight nerf to Rook Armor in a way, but now they're making it so, or well, I guess it kind of was like this as well. You can go back up to the maximum value again if you get healed by Doc or Thunderbird. So you can go back to 120 if you're a 1 armor. You can go to 145 if you're 3 armor, so on. And again, the numbers play out in interesting ways. It's not like a biggest difference, but it's much better, this system, in the way that it makes it so you can actually see the numbers, see what's going on. It's much less confusing, makes measuring things easier. Yeah, just a good change. I like it overall. Screen shake. This is I think this was probably one of the most annoying, one of the biggest problem. Well, it wasn't that big of a problem, but it was very annoying. And it was one of the things that did not get talked about much. Screen shake. So now you don't get screen shake from any of these things, from the air jab, from the yokai, from the lifeline, from the Gurjmat. But you will still get some screen shake, I guess, from grenades, C4, from all explosions, but I guess it's less. I don't know what percent less. I don't know. But amazing change, assuming it works properly, because screen shake was just asinine. There was no reason for it to be the way it was. I mean, I guess it was cool in immersive sort of way, but it was terrible competitively. So great change there. Note on whatever, I'm not gonna read all the notes. New operator, we'll get to that I think in the next thing, her kit. Finka, frag grenades come back, that's cool. Finka probably could use the buff. She got the buff in, I think it was the last patch when Thunderbird came out, where her heal was permanent, so that was good, and now she has frag, so Finka on the up and up. It's still, a lot of people aren't gonna like the gadget because it messes up your recoil control. If you're used to controlling recoil and then all of a sudden there's no recoil, you might pull down too far or whatever, but you still get other benefits. And I guess it makes Finka even especially a more fun operator. You can use it lower levels. You can boost in and have no recoil if you did have trouble controlling it. You get frag grenades, yeah. So Finka, fun, cool, whatever. Fuse, mostly buff, sort of nerf, increased recoil on the AK-12. This also applies to Ace. That was one of the better guns in the game, and it wasn't terribly hard to control, so probably a good change. I mean, I think this has to make Jackal's gun, his assault rifle, just the uncontested best. I think it was the best before it, because I think it lost out on, I think it had 50 less rate of fire, and then I'm not it's 8, so AK-12 is 850, and Jackal's gun, which I cannot remember the name of, it had 800 RPM, and then it might have had slight 1 or 2 higher damage, I'm not sure, but it had a much faster reload. I think it had less recoil, but it's only on Jackal, whatever. This stuff, Fuse can now use his charge through reinforced walls, and I think this has been a no-brain thing to do for the longest time. Makes sense, but it now takes longer for his charge to deploy. You can also put it through the Mmr thing, which is cool. Reduced bounce after triggering, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it just takes longer to do, but you can do it through hard walls. So it should be cool. It's still not going to make Fuse crazy, I don't think. It's going to give him a lot more applications, though, especially outside of top level. But it could be good for clearing utility, but if you're watching it, it's easy to shoot because it takes longer, it's loud, it's noticeable. But if there's nobody in that area to shoot it immediately, it's great. You get to clear out whatever's in there, maybe get a kill, whatever. So I think that's it. Yeah, electricity will kill it, of course. That's interaction would have never come up or almost never come up before, but now it can. And yeah, moving on, glass, 5 more bullets in the mag, that's fine. I mean, whatever, it's fine. Yana, remove the scopes. Now, I think this is probably fine to do. A lot of people are unhappy, specifically if they want to use the G36C, because it doesn't have access to the regular holo or the new red dot, which I think are the preferred versions of those. It has the original red dot, and it has the new holo, which is the Cybertruck holo, which I kind of like in a way. If they made the window a little bit taller, I think it'd be quite good. I think the reticle is really good, but the window of the scope, or the sight rather, is not especially good. People are talking about all guns should have access to all 1.0 scopes, and I mean, I see where they're coming from. It makes guns a little bit less unique, but it's probably for the better if they do that in the future. Maybe they will. Yana, I think originally, when she was conceived, she was intended to be more of a, like a support-ish kind of operator, and the way it's been used instead is as an aggressive operator. And actually, she had an ARX with an ACOG, which is one of the lower recoil assault rifles, big damage, is good for holding angles and stuff. And then G36C, you could angle grip it at a decent rate of fire. You can get aggressive with it. So you could do either thing. And what a lot of I've seen just probably way more pros use the ARX than the G36, because, well, you put the ARX you can put on, well, now it doesn't have a 2.5, but you can put on the regular holo, or you can put on the 1.5, whichever you prefer, and then you get a vertical grip, as opposed to Nomad doesn't get vertical grips on her gun, so it's inherently worse on Nomad, but you get a vertical grip, and then you can also even throw on the muzzle brake, since you don't really need the recoil reduction of the vertical, or the flash hider rather, or the compensator, so you get that faster center time, get big damage, consistent gun. Yeah, so a lot of pros use it because it's just like nice to use, and then you can use it. Anyways, I guess this change is fine. Like, it's not gonna, it's gonna affect her a little bit, because probably the default ranked loadout is G36C with angle grip. Now you have to use a 1.0. I've been using G36C with 2.0 angled, and I might use the ARX with the 1.5 now. We'll see. Yeah, it's like, they love doing this, nerfing or buffing operators by removing a scope. And in a way, it is, at top level play, it shouldn't really affect much, but below that, people really like having magnification, and now they can't do that on G36, and they have less options on the ARX. And you saw where she was on the chart. She was the second most picked attacker, and one of the winning, and I think she was the winningest attacker. So I guess it makes sense to change. But a lot of her value came from the combination of her gadget and having the on 6 and having grenades. So she could clear Rooney gates very effectively. She could clear 3 hard things. She had good guns, whatever. We'll move on. Like, not the biggest fan of it, but it's okay. IQ, she can now ping gadgets through walls, and this even and she can also ping Vigil with the gadget on, Pulse with the scanner out, all this stuff, which is really cool. And I suppose it's so right. It makes her more effective with teammates. You can call out where something is, and you can even ping where you could say it's here, it's in this room, and then they'll look there and they can see exactly where it is. but it's also sort of a buff for IQ, I think. There's plenty of times where you're trying to maybe destroy a gadget from below, and you can see like that little bubble, but if you get the new, I haven't used it yet, but the red ping thing, that it's more precise in showing where it is. It should make it easier when you're trying to maneuver around the metal bars that are in floors and ceilings. I think it should make it easier to destroy them despite that. So it's even like a self buff, even if you're not like coordinating with your team. Or, well, yeah, even if you guys aren't on comms, now it's way better, obviously, because you can ping it like accurately instead of just ping the floor that lines up with it. And, well, cell phone thing, whatever. Yeah, so pretty big buff IQ. And then, Twitch down here. Mute. His signal disruptor area of effect is now a sphere rather than a cylinder. And so it's mostly a nerf because okay, and they reduced. Okay, so that's a slight buff, I guess. I'm not sure what the height was and everything. This might reduce the area or the surface area or whatever of the gadget, but you can no longer mute the entirety of 2 walls, and maybe even not the entirety of 1 wall. I don't know how it plays with Thermite. I'm not sure if, say you're on the plateau wall, the wall outside CCTV on Clubhouse. I think maybe if you repel, and this is something I want to go test as well, if you repel and you put the Thermite charge in the top right or top left and there's a mute jammer in the middle, it might work, but definitely you can use Hibana pellets and probably Ace Selmas to get the area that is no longer covered. And I think before it was a cylinder and it went straight up. It didn't have any effect below it, and I think the sphere now will go below. So there's probably some instances where you will get a little bit more benefit because you can mute below, but this should also stop you from being able to put the jammer on an elevated surface and then mute the floor above to prevent drones or whatever. So overall, a nerf to mute. Yeah. Sledge, remove the SMG-11. Everyone lost their absolute minds with this, but it makes sense. Sledge is one of the most overtuned operators in the game, having a solid assault rifle, the best secondary gun in terms of lethality. Like maybe sometimes you want one of the secondary shotguns instead, the Bailiff or the Super Shorty or the Ida, the Mmr Jackal one, for destruction purposes. But in terms of having a gun, this is undeniably the best one. Highest DPS, fully automatic weapon in the game, highest rate of fire, I think, in the game, really high damage for a sub. Really good weapon. It's gone now, and it shouldn't affect too many people. It says targeting top rank and pro, and that makes sense. Like they're the ones with they can and that gun wasn't the most easy to control, but they're the ones that will mindfully, they'll switch to it when they know they're going into a close range engagement because it has a high rate of fire versus the low rate of fire on the L85, which serves better for long range engagements. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's probably good. Yeah, so really strong secondary gun, good primary, one of the best gadgets in the game, and he has frags. Like Sledge had everything, did everything, and it's good to cut down on that a little bit. Twitch, now her shock drone, it has the same functionality as the Zero cam, the Argus launcher camera. Deal 5 damage instead of 1, whatever. Infinite range. I saw KS losing his mind about this because you could destroy a Goyo shield from really far. So before, I don't think Twitch drones destroyed Goyo shields. It was a taser, and now it's a laser. And a laser, I think, just has the same properties as a bullet. I don't think it's different. I guess it has a different like tracer effect, but bullets. Yeah. So now it says doesn't, or does it say that doesn't disable electronic devices? So I don't know that it will work against Malushi's Banshees unless, I think it'll destroy if it's already open. I don't think it'll disable a Maestro camera. It'll destroy it if the window's already open. But it will still destroy mute jammers, bandit batteries, Kaid electrical, anything you can shoot. Arunis, or not Arunis, Thunderbirds gadget, any gadget you can shoot, you can still get default cams, all this stuff. So a nerf in some ways. Assuming you can't get Evil Eyes and can't get Banshees, that's a decent nerf. But Twitch drone can also jump. Does it say that here? Yeah. And also, Twitch now has a regular drone in the prep phase in addition to her 2 Twitch drones, so that's great. Really good change to Twitch, I think. Good overall. Shock drone, larger bullet collision. That's just the hitbox, the hurt box on the drone. I tested it. It extends a decent bit off of the drone, I think. Yeah. So weapon balancing, like I talked about before, the AK-12 nerf, it's fine. Like this gun, it had a decent amount of kick. It wasn't insane before. Now it's probably kind of crazy. Just another in a long line of gun nerfs. And this is probably fine considering how good of a gun it was. And that's it for this one. Let's go on to the next one. Here's CGG's article on some of the changes. So first we have the new operator. This is Thermite's gun. She has access to, I think, an ACOG or a 2.0, or I think it's all the regular 1.0 sites. I'm not positive. And then the PDW with, again, I think the regular 1.0s and then a 1.5. I think they both get angle grip. Stun grenade or claymore. I'm pretty sure on the, I want to say on the test server, I'm pretty sure she has smoke grenades. So I don't know when that change came into effect. And then PMM, one of the better pistols. It has really high damage, but it's just a pistol. It's not a sub. It's not a shotgun, so it's fine. 2-2, just like almost every other operator in the game. And so the window gadget, you get 2 of them. You can put it on a window or a single door. You can put it on a double door as well, but it doesn't cover the entire door. It's like half of it. It extends, and then it's like the height of a deployable shield. Or if you put it on a window, there's still a hole above it at the top, and at the back, similar to Mmr's Black Mirror, there is a gas canister on the back that you can shoot that destroys it, and you can melee the front to make it not visible through, that you can't see through it. So it's going to be really powerful in some places. And also, yeah, when she holds it in front of her, it's a bulletproof shield. Like you're walking around like you're Montaigne. I guess it won't cover your legs, but it covers your face and your torso and probably the top of your legs. I'm not sure. But you can use it like that. And then as you're setting it down, your face is still covered. I think this is going to be really powerful in a lot of ways. And maybe just generally powerful. We'll have to see how it gets used, and we won't see it in pro play for a few months, but we'll get to see it in the general game. Operator changes. I don't think there's anything here that I didn't cover in the previous thing. Flashbang rework. Yeah, covered this already. Down but not out rework. So now there's no kill stealing, and also I don't think it's mentioned here. Maybe it's in the next thing I'll show, but. So, okay, let me just say what it is. If you down somebody and then somebody else finishes the kill, it still counts as you getting the kill and the person who finishes the enemy as getting an assist. But in the kill feed, it'll still say they killed them so that there's not like weird information gathering stuff. So it's not. Besides the scoreboard, everything will remain the same. Yeah. And then map changes. So I'll probably have a separate video where I cover I'll just go through the maps, clubhouse, bank, coastline, and show the differences, but just keep in mind they've made changes. It's not an entire rework, but it's fairly substantial, each of them, and especially the coastline and bank ones. The clubhouse a little bit smaller, but still some notable things. And again, like you can read this article if you want to, or I'll go over the changes in another video. Operator outlines and Elite 2.0. So the Elite thing you can use, you can like use the pieces, I guess. I don't know. I don't use skins. I couldn't tell you, but different sections. So I don't know if that's just like the head piece, the torso piece, and the leg piece. But you can use whichever pieces in combination with other things, which is cool. And yeah, the operator outlines. So now, since they refuse to implement a client-side visual thing where you can just turn off seeing skins, at least now if people are wearing heinous skins that blend in, they'll at least have a little bit of an outline to make it easier to see, which is cool. Makes a lot of sense. They accidentally did it a while like earlier this year, and then now it's official. I don't know. And let's move on to the last one, the top issues and community concerns. So the flash detection and consistency. This is coming into the game. This is one of the things that people hate the most, and so maybe it gets reverted. I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see. Yeah, this is the outline thing. Flinch animations. So I guess you will flinch less when you are shot and whatever, and this is separate from screen shake. It's good. Like flinching isn't very fun to play against. Down but not out kills. Oh yeah, this is where it talks about it. Yeah, so you'll down an enemy, Your teammate will kill them. You will get the kill. Your teammate will get an assist. It will say in the kill feed that your teammate killed them. Friendly fire, team gadget. So now you can't hit your teammates with your non-lethal gadgets. So you can still C4 and kill them, but if you hit them with the physical C4, it won't do 5 damage. If you launch a Mozzie Pest, a Legion Goo, like all this stuff, anything that you can throw, it won't damage your teammate anymore, which is great. It was, there was no reason for that to be in the game because it's not like substantial damage, and it was pretty much only used for griefing. Screen shake, yep, no more screen shake or reduce screen shake, great. Scoreboard, hold up, what is this? I didn't see this yet. Blah, 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 blah. What is the change? What did they do? Oh, this is the new one. Okay, so you can, what do you, just smaller or something? What's the difference? Oh, the stuff in the middle? No, that was there. What? They added where it says attack and defense over here. They tightened it up because you already had the bands, you already had the ping, assist, kill, death, points, all this. Okay, they just tightened it up, I guess. It's not, whatever. Loadout reset. This has happened to a bunch of people. I don't think this happened to me yet, but it's happened to several people I know and lots more people that I don't know. It's super annoying. Resets all your operator loadouts and you have to remake them all. That's absolutely heinous. Ongoing though, hasn't been resolved. They're gonna add some new stuff. Yeah, this no bomb site icons after dropping the diffuser. I don't understand why they don't just make the bombs still visible when you drop the diffuser. Like I don't know why they're looking into it. Why don't you just do it? Questionable. Squad management. You currently cannot manage your squad at all. You can invite players, but you can't kick players. So if somebody just sits in your squad that you don't want in there, you have to leave squad. If somebody like closes, if they just turn off their PC without leaving the squad, you have to wait for them to disconnect. I don't understand how it can be so difficult to add a kick feature. They have not done it yet, but I presume that is what they are going to add in the future. But this is, yeah, that's what I just talked about. Servers, they added more servers or something. GameLift is a new game server provider, so hopefully servers should be more accessible and better, hopefully, because Lord knows the servers are pretty bad sometimes. MMR Rollback, this is cool. So now if you beat a cheater, you won't get that MMR rolled back. If you win with a cheater on your team, you're still going to lose that elo because that's an unfair win. But yeah, so I mean, it's so annoying, like having your elo taken in that way. And then also, I think they're addressing the fact that they're trying to only roll back the elo for games in which people were cheating, I think. Not, so if they play a bunch of games in a season and then they start cheating, it should only be rolling back points from games where they were cheating, not the other games. And, they still get banned. Stream sniping, something to prevent stream sniping. Scramble some of their information. I don't know. They're not doing it this season. Cheat detection, yeah, over 69,000 cheaters, but there's still, like, trillions of cheaters, so hopefully they get more of them. DDoS on consoles, haven't played console in like a year, so couldn't tell you how big of an issue this is, but yeah, DDoSing is terrible and you should never do it. It should never happen, but of course it's difficult to prevent, so mouse and keyboard on console, yeah, ongoing. It's gonna be ongoing forever. They're never gonna find a way to, and they say something about like they want accessibility for disabled players in mind, and I think that's just they're just I mean, if for some reason you can't play with a controller, if your hands can't like curl that way, if you need a keyboard, it's one thing, but that's like such a minuscule number of people. They're just almost everybody at high rank on console is a mouse and keyboard user, aka cheater. It should not be allowed, but I don't imagine they ever find a way to stop people from doing it. Preventative sanctions, yeah, more of this stuff. Update. Oh, this is older. Yeah, so that's it. I think that covers most of the changes. I might go a little bit in depth on some of them in a future video, but as far as I understand, that's all of the big stuff because it covers the new operator, it covers the balancing changes, it covers the gameplay changes. I think that does it. I'm gonna end the video there.